camera was giving me dick levels of energy.
Alright, so let's hit Kaiju number 8 first, and then we'll do Blazar.
Yeah, you can sit here and just...
You can listen to
pretty
us
face.
talk about how fucking good all the emotional
be the-
beats were for this episode, these 2 episodes.
Just like come in and voice your opinion on like something completely different.
Anything else any of us need to do before we get started?
Nope, I've already taken my pills and I'm about to go on a downer.
Alright, let's do this shit. Hello and welcome to the MegaMonsterCast. I am Nick, and with me are Alex and Josh. Say hello.
Hello.
So, this week we are covering episodes 3 and 4 of Kaiju number 8. Hopefully, this goes a lot smoother than last week.
We're off to a better start, so here's
Yep.
hoping.
Yep.
Yeah, none of us is
Alright, good one.
Not again.
Yep. Alright, so this week is covering the second phase of testing for becoming a member of the Kaiju Defense Force.
Right.
The first testing was a written test, which, as was established, Kafka always passes, and it's the physical portion that he always fails. So, before we get to the actual testing, we have... Gosh, I always forget her name. What is her name?
Hikaru?
Yeah,
Hikaru.
Kikaru. Yep. We have Kafka and Kikaru's interactions, but we get a little bit of payoff to them meeting each other last episode. So last episode, Kikaru was introduced by being a badass who has her own special kaiju defense suit.
Yeah.
And she picks up...
I thought
Kafka's
that
truck.
suit would pay off more.
I mean, it kind of does. Like, it seems like it's...
I think the most payoff that you get from that original suit, because it doesn't make another appearance in the next 2 episodes, but I think the most that pays off is her attunement level.
Yep.
Later in episode 4.
He's highly trained now.
Yep. I think that's supposed to be our big payoff, is that she has so much more experience with this compared to everyone else going into it, that when we do get the payoff of what her attunement level is, it makes sense why it's as high as it is.
Yeah, that was at least my head canon.
Same thing with
for it.
Kafka.
Yeah.
Though I think they do pay a little bit of lip service to the fact that like she's a prodigy, so maybe it would have been still astoundingly high had she never been in a suit before.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a little bit of like nature versus nurture going on, I think, in that narrative. But I expected to see the suit more. I didn't expect them to get fitted in combat suits this early in the series.
What we'll see from later on, there wasn't very much nurturing there in that family, though.
True.
I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So anyway, we get the she moved their truck, obviously, and
I think yeeted or tossed is appropriate.
Yep. And
slightly relocated.
Kafka rights the truck so it's sitting in the spot properly, and we have the whole "you smell like kaiju" interaction, which gets the payoff of Ichikawa saying like, well, I mean, we're in the cleanup crew, so we probably just smell like it because we're always around kaiju.
Right.
Which was kind of what I think we talked about last time, was that's the easy solution of, hey, yeah, no, we're always around it. That's why we smell like this.
No, honey,
clearly came here
I don't
after
smoke.
being covered.
I just work in a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
So then after that, we get the establishing of what the testing is, and we get Kafka just like destroying himself trying to keep up with guys that are like 10 years younger than him. Like
that have had more training than him.
Oh yeah, like crawling underneath the barbed wire, and like everyone is just like speeding by him as he's slowly crawling underneath it. He's thinking to himself like, "Oh God, I'm so out of shape. How did I let this happen to myself?"
Well, they even
loved.
they even have that line that hurt me deep to my core. Is like, "Do you just get this week when you turn 30?" I'm
Yep.
like, "Huh."
Yeah, there's 3 men in our 30s.
I turned that week at 23.
But yeah, so
It's
then
terrible.
We get the establishing of
No, wait. Patreon gold. Josh crawls underneath a barbed wire.
Yep.
I'll go under all the barbed wire possible.
So we get the establishing of who I called the characters with character design last episode.
Yes, yeah, and like that, I literally heard your words echoing through my head when we got back to those characters, and they're like, and this character has this experience with these credentials and graduated from this place. I'm like, okay, yeah, these have named character energy. They have character design. Nick was right.
Oh yeah, no, it's the second like we actually got the establishing of like, oh, and here's all the like the heavy hitters for this go around. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be all those guys that looked special last episode. And of course, we get like the dude with like the kind of like pink red mohawk. We get the guy with like the long cyan hair. We get the blonde guy who has like the kind of stern looking eyes, and like each one
Love
of them
the blonde guy.
Yep.
He's very stoic, just like, okay, let's see what she's got.
Yep. And like
he's like the most realistic in his position. He's like, okay, I think I know my capabilities. Yeah, all right, 15% is fine.
Yep.
I understand about Aoi.
Yep. So
I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to remember these guys' names until like the last episode of the season, I'm sure.
Same. Big same.
Yeah. But well, no, I feel like red hair dude is going to have like a rivalry with Kafka too, just based on like some of the imagery we see in like, is it the opening or the ending? Like we see a couple of things between him and Kafka, and I feel like they're going to have like a friendly.
You talking about the opening theme?
Yep.
Oh, see, I was really just swimming in the music and wasn't really paying attention to it. Although I have to say the visuals in the opening are really good. Like it's such a good opening for this series. I'm glad they stuck with I'm actually really glad they stuck with the same like theme music and everything.
Yep.
The sound design alone in this is top notch.
Oh, it makes me want to do Foley again, because that's one of the things I was really into back in the day. But yeah, the sound design is really nice. I've really been enjoying that. But I was gonna say that I think they could go anyway with like a rivalry between Kafka and any of the named characters, because I didn't really expect them to give such a gap between what's her name, Kikaru?
Yep.
And literally everybody. So like they kind of cast all the characters except for Kikaru into the same bucket, and then there's kind of Kafka still kind of being a 0%er.
Yep.
But like I don't know, it kind of felt it didn't feel like I expected it to. Like did either of you watch a Naruto?
Yeah.
Do you remember when what's his name, Garen or
Gaara?
Gaara, yeah.
Gaara.
Yep.
Remember when Gaara is introduced? They're in that like training like arena, and they're having the competitions, and like you get like 15 rivalries starting to form. I genuinely expected that kind of energy, and like there was a lot more camaraderie given focus in this. So like I actually really appreciated that.
Yeah, I think some of that also comes from the fact that like, so we get that the cluster of like Ichikawa was kind of like the lowest, besides Kafka, named person who can bring out the potential of his suit, which, side note, I love that it was the reveal that these are all basically made out of like kaiju muscle tissue.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. It's a bioorganic, or a biomechanical rather.
Yeah, but so we get Ichikawa is like the lowest of the named characters outside of Kafka. that he can bring out 8% of its combat potential, and then we get like the other 3 characters with character design who go from like 14 to 17%, I think.
Yeah,
Like
something
the
like
top
that.
one for that one was the Cyan guy who was 17%.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we get our high and our low. Our high is Kikaru, who has 46%, which they go on record saying like somebody who is actively on the defense force and has like years of training can usually bring out like 20% of the suit's potential. So she's bringing out like she's doubled what most people can do already. And then we get Kafka, who can bring out 0% of the suit's potential. He just is wearing it. He can't do anything with it.
It's
Not
clothing.
even pick up a damn gun.
Yep. I love that little bit that the gun's too heavy to pick up unless you can use the suit at all. So he just has to leave the gun behind.
Just pistols.
Yep.
That's
He's
all
just
he
running
needs.
around with a pistol because that's the only thing he can carry, which I imagine that pistol's also probably heavy as fuck, but like at least he can handle it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably gonna get one shot and it's gonna go wild, and he'll have to re-aim it and then fire again. It's not gonna be like
It's not the cricket from Men in Black.
oh yeah, the cricket did have one hell of a kick, didn't it?
It did.
Didn't he like fly into a car?
Yeah.
I'm not expecting that per se. I'm expecting someone who's never held like a 50 cal handgun to be like. Poof.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the impression I'm gonna get. Like I get from.
I don't think he fires it at all, does he?
I know. I feel like he did, didn't he? Was it against?
Did he fire it? I remember him firing, or I remember him chucking the stun grenade.
Yeah, I think he fired too, but I could be wrong. I don't remember 100% for sure if it was him or one of the other guys. I know for sure the other guys were firing.
I thought it was cool though that he like very. Again, I like how reasonable these characters are being. Where Kafka like he's struggling with the weapon, he's like, okay, this isn't working. I have to abandon this strategy. Time for a new plan, and he just moves on to the new plan and executes. Like instead of like trying to force something to work, you know, like he kind of does that with the broken leg later, but like that's one thing that I find irritating in anime is like I've done this 15 times and failed. The 16th time will work if I just put enough grunt and groan into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's also the brains of the operation.
Yeah, I actually really
he's smart enough not to.
I love that he's the brains. Like he realizes really early on. So the suits have like monitors in them for their vital signs and all this other stuff, but they're also being tracked by drones. And he realizes, well, if our suits are doing all the monitoring for our vitals, and if they're
it's not just a kill count.
Yeah, we're not just keeping track of like how we're doing in the battlefield. They're also taking other factors into mind. So if I can't keep up on the combat side of this, I have to come up with a different strategy. So they must be looking for how we adapt.
Yeah, and there's more value given to it not just being who's the top who has the best KD spread, you know. I appreciated that. It was like, okay, so where do I fit in this battle?
Yeah.
Like let's not all try to fill the same role. How can I benefit the team the most?
Yeah, it might not be combat oriented, but you know what? I can be the guy in the chair.
Yeah, and
when we see him come through and be effective, very quickly on in this episode too, when we get him utilizing his knowledge of the kaiju to use the stun grenade based on their hearing. I thought that was really cool. I'm wondering where Ichikawa fits in if Kafka is the brains.
I think
he's the grunt.
Because I don't think that's it, because Kafka is an idiot. Like he's smart, but he's such an idiot sometimes. Like it's almost like Kafka is the rationale.
See, I think Kafka,
it's like a left brain, right brain thing in my head.
Kafka's the experience. He's the one who, like, out of all of them, he has the most experience around kaiju. Now, they might not be living kaiju, but he knows just what makes kaiju tick. Like, he was the one who realized, oh, hey, I've gone up against this before. Not gone up against it, but I've worked with this specific type of Kaiju. Also,
I know its anatomy better than anybody here.
but he has so much experience on their bodies. He knows how they function.
I think you're totally right, and I also think that we're gonna get a payoff for him being older, probably in this season, if not next season. Um, because they're paying a lot of weight to him being an old man at 32. Him
Which
being slowed, like they're paying a lot of weight and
Yeah, it really
time.
hurts being 32 watching this.
yeah, I was
I'll be
gonna
30.
say.
I'll be 31 next month, so it hurts my
Oh
feelings.
my god, dude, you're the
Oh, you
baby.
fucking
I turned
baby.
32 in a couple months.
I'm always this is how it always goes for me.
Yep.
But
You were the baby when we worked together. You're the baby
I know,
now.
I know. Yeah, except for now now all these undergrads around. Anyways,
Now you're just the most healthy one.
but but I think that we're probably going to get some kind of like experience age equals experience kind of motif later on, because I think they're just setting it up that way. And you know, Mina is his age, so like it can't be that bad that he's 32. Even though like I think there was at least 4 or 5 references to him being either old, out of shape. Do you get weak at this age? You know,
There's so much more that's going to come.
Oh,
By
I'm
the
sure.
way.
They're gonna rub that into his face every episode, I'm sure, especially with Kikaru, who's like 16 or something.
She is 16.
Yeah, literally half his age. I definitely wrote that down as one of my notes. The prodigy is legitimately half his age. Oh, side note,
They
how
did
do you
a-
guys like that they keep insinuating that he's obsessed with her?
Yes.
oh, the groupie comments.
Yeah. But like she's the one who's like giving him shit, but like everyone's
Oh my
like,
god,
"No,
you're a
dude."
mega fan.
Yeah, this is kind of weird.
I love how they just can't see competition.
Yep. Oh, you're talking to the 16-year-old. You must be some sort of fucking weirdo, huh?
That makes it all the better. Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah. Oh yeah. But
They
yes.
set up they take this amount of time here about this point in the episode to just make me hate Kikaru.
Oh yeah.
Just like, oh my god, enough.
Yep.
I had the
speed
whole
run.
like opposite reaction.
See, I
She
think they
started to
set.
become like my favorite here.
See, I think they
I
set
don't
up
like-
that we're supposed to kind of dislike her because she is just
Yeah.
speed running this shit. Like everyone else is working like at least in groups to try to take down Kaiju, and she just comes through, puts like 2 or 3 shots into a Kaiju, and moves on.
While running on the side of a building.
Yeah. The fucking when she starts by running up the building, and all the other people are like, "Well, what the fuck are we
What the
supposed to
fuck?
do?"
I thought it was odd though. I mean, maybe you guys can explain this to me, but the only thing that really like confused me was, does her battle suit improve her caliber's damage? Like her
Yes.
rifle output more.
I think
That is actually stated.
Yeah, I think it was like it's directly proportional to how much your suit can handle. So like I don't
Is
know
it like
if
a
it's
recoil thing?
problem. I mean, like I don't 100%. I would need to like look into this a little more. My thought process was, so like if you're only able to use 15% of your suit's capabilities, like the gun's probably designed to, if somebody could use 100%, to let them use 100% and like fire off like massive rounds. But because like it doesn't, you don't want to have a gun that will fucking kill the person who fires it. So it limits its ability based on what the suit can handle.
I wonder how those cartridges work, just from a purely like hard science method. I know this is definitely like, I'm getting the vibe that this universe is a soft magic mechanic instead of a hard magic mechanic, and I really want the guns to be hard magic just for a second, so I get an explanation of like, well, the cartridges are loaded separately, or no, it's a spring gun or it's a rail gun. Like if you were to just say to me it's a railgun, that they could do it in one sentence and I go, fine, I accept that. But like if you're trying to
I
tell
kind
me
of
like
just assumed
it
that's what
nerfs
Mina
the
was.
powder load in a cartridge.
Yeah. I assumed Mina's gun, what Josh said, I assumed Mina's gun was some sort of railgun system, like that big fuck off cannon in the first episode.
Yeah. It would
And
make sense if these were all railguns because then you could tune a railgun's power output. Whereas, like, if you want to tune a like conventional, modern, contemporary weapons output, you have to augment the amount of powder you put inside the cartridge, which is predetermined. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I got you.
there's no way they could do this without some kind of like. It has to. In my head, it's railguns.
I think.
And what
we'll
happens
just
if it's
operate
just
that way.
part of the magazine?
Oh, is it? Oh, like you feed in metal into the. Wasn't there a game that did that kind of mechanic where the magazine was the ammo itself and it just like you just shot pieces of metal out? I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I'll have to
Roadhog
look
does
that up.
that.
True, Roadhog does do that.
That was not what I was referencing, but okay. Well, I guess we do see some of the weird mechanics of the weapon later on when Kikuru kills the big Doom Doom 2016 demon. She like loads a green vial into the side of one of the magazines, and then that just becomes death.
Mm-hmm.
That is the rounds. That is something that will be brought up again. Just to let you know.
As long as there's payoff to that, because this week I've only watched up to what we're watching. I'm not ahead of the episode like I was last week.
I've never advocated for this in my entire life, but do we have a confirmation on when Kaiju number 8 season 2 comes out?
Probably
Not yet.
not. I would guess sometime in like either way late this year or next year.
But it'll probably come out piecemeal.
Yeah, it's going to be this season is a 12 episode season. A lot of anime are moving to like 12, 13 episode seasons, so we're probably going to get like 12 episodes this year, 12 episodes next year.
We're going to have to do that weekly because I'm not going to sit here and let little spoiler kid over here just
I'm not even talking.
You're doing what every motherfucker on Twitch does. It's like, well, no spoilers, but what comes next is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I like to hurt you.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember. I watched, because on my recap, I watched through both episodes just back to back. So how does this episode end? I don't remember.
This episode ends, before. Oh shit! Actually, I don't remember where it actually ends because I watched these episodes concurrently as well. We in episode 3 we only get one Kaiju transformation from Kafka, and it's only his hand in the first 5 minutes. It happens before he saves Hikaru later. Like it happens before we get the crazy reveals in episode 4. Episode 4
awesome.
threw shit. Episode 4 threw shit down, and here's where I was at. I got so tired of going through Crunchyroll. I found an alternative means of watching Kaiju number 8. I was so excited to just go like, okay, what the fuck is happening? I tried to turn on the next episode and it didn't have subtitles and it was all Japanese. I'm like, so episode 3 must happen before any of the twists.
Yeah, I think all the twists are in episode 4.
Yeah.
Like we get some of the action in like the city. Well, not city, but
city.
Like the fake city, the training city,
the examination grounds.
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, let's talk about So these kaiju are kaiju that they had like captured from another incident like a year or two ago, I think.
They've been saving them.
Mm-hmm.
It almost felt like like an agricultural thing to me. Like these have been like ranched.
Yep. And we get another name. Like these ones have a name too.
Like a Yojo and
it's like Yonjo and Konjo.
I can't remember what the big one was, but I just had him in my notes as Doom 2016.
Oh yeah,
because he looks exactly like the Hell Lords or whatever the hell they're called. The Hell
Yeah,
Knights.
and Kafka gets injured.
He gets
Was that
fucked up.
design? Was that design of the hoof fingernails not crazy?
Dude, I love
Yeah.
that. That was so good.
It was super interesting. I was just sitting there going like, oh, okay, tell me more.
Yeah,
These look like totally
gets-
Doom inspired to me, and that's way up my alley. I was literally there was a few times I was sitting there like I was like eating ramen as I was watching the show. I'm like, oh man, the Doom 2016 music is about to hit.
But yeah, so then Kafka gets like fucked up by this giant kaiju.
He gets straight up sucker punched. Let's say this.
Yeah, he does.
This is one of the things that I like about Kafka's character. He annoys me sometimes. Like sometimes I want him to be cool. Just be cool for a minute.
Yep.
Like you don't have to in kaiju form prostrate yourself before people. Stop it.
No. He's cool as shit because he activates his suit. To 0.01%.
Yeah, he can.
Different. Okay, we're not there yet. We are way. That's way
Okay.
skipping ahead.
Yeah.
Nah, that's the end of this episode.
I like that when he gets into combat, he's actually quite competent. Like he didn't fuck up and get hurt by the hoof demon. He got jumped. He got surprise attacked. Like I appreciate that it's not him just being a bumbling idiot all the time. Like I kind of do. I do like it when like they give him his moment.
Yeah, and like his big moments for this episode were, again, him knowing the anatomy of these kaiju so well that he knows what can hurt them. Is like he was the one who knew, hey, loud noises, they are almost entirely hearing based when it comes to senses. So loud noises will fuck up their ability to know what's going on around them. And
to be fair, he and Kikaru are the only ones responsible for the deaths of those kaiju that I remember in those episodes.
Yep.
Like if it weren't for those two, there would have been a lot more casualties. It's even stated by the second in command, the co-captain or whatever his rank is, that the only people no, he says that usually they get several casualties.
Yep.
And there were none. He likens it to her performance, which is probably 90-10. But Kafka definitely pulled up that 10% because there was a few occasions where had he not given the advice, they were in trouble.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't have I think they would have eventually figured out like weak belly flesh, but they wouldn't have known about the loud noises at all, which is what opened them up to it. Like it would have been like 4 or 5 people sacrificing themselves to get one knocked out.
Yeah, and then
boom.
And then they're all, thanks, groupie.
Yep. No, but so getting back to when he gets fucked up by the big kaiju, we get like him deciding like he knows that his leg's broken. He's trying to like power through. He's really pushing himself because he doesn't want to get left behind. He doesn't want to give up on his dreams. And he manages to finally activate 0.01% of his suit. So
I love how they didn't even. I thought for sure it was gonna stay in the 10ths. The fact that they went into the 100ths, I'm just like, okay, this is gonna be a long burn. We're gonna get there, but at least they gave him something. He got less than 1% activation. So like, all right, so without spoilers, Josh, shut your mouth. Is this a determination thing? Is this a physical attribution thing? Like, what is the thing that unlocks the power? Like, Super Saiyan is anger.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
there's a key.
It's got to be raw grit. He's got to just be like his willpower alone managed to overcome the fact that the suit and he just cannot resonate at all.
Yeah, it could be just a skill issue.
Yep. No, it's just
there's multiple angles. He's just using the worst and most labor-intensive version called grit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he is just brute forcing to get a tiny bit of that.
I may not have any skill, but I'm gonna grunt and groan until this fucking works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he's doing.
And then right before
I
they
love it.
deploy the shield to get him out.
Yep. I do
Dude.
love that. Like, I think they let him know, hey, the next time anything happens to you at all, like we're doing you a solid by letting you stick around in this. You shouldn't be allowed to do this anymore. The next time anything goes wrong for you at all, we are deploying your shield immediately and you are out. We are not going to let you kill yourself trying to get this job.
As Kikaru just comes flying out of nowhere,
Yep.
fucking saves his ass like, boom, bitch.
Yep. Oh god, again, just fucking
That's 3 times, bitch.
shames him. Yep.
Zoom.
But
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
and that's something I love about this show is there's a lot of setup and payoff and a lot of paralleling, like because we get Kafka on his hands and knees, severely injured, saved by Kikaru, and then we're gonna get the parallel for that.
It's like
Of
poetry.
course, we haven't even mentioned it up to this point, but there's been a big emphasis on both on Ichikawa's side and on Kafka's side of I will not use my kaiju powers to get this job. This is Kafka even does the lip surface of it's not fair for everybody else who's been determined and worked hard to get here for me to come in and use powers that were given to me that I didn't earn.
Which he earned it. He had a deep throat that shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I also think that's 100% like just proud bullshit. Like,
oh yeah,
does it matter how you kill the kaiju as long as the kaiju's dead at the end of the day?
But well, he's considering it like an aptitude test more than it is like, just accomplishing the goal.
Which
like he's joining a force more than he is killing kaiju.
And I get that. I think like it's kind of, from my perspective, 100% I would have transformed my arms inside of that suit and just started going to town on shit.
Arms and legs,
shit, I can't use the suit.
Ride those walls.
I would have been like, I can't use the suit to pick up this gun. Well, now I've got kaiju arms to do it. Let's see how much fucking kick this thing gives me with these arms.
Oh, is that a bird? I'm hungry.
Yep, just eats the bird again.
We haven't gotten that back yet. That's gonna be great when that swings back around.
I fucking hope that swings back around.
So anyway, Kikaru kills like the big boss kaiju. She goes to the big boss kaiju, she kills it. And is this where we get the flashback for Kikaru?
I think so.
Yeah, because we're officially in episode 4 now.
Yep.
Do we know her childhood companion, or was that a new character?
I think that's
a new character.
Okay.
She might show back up, but that almost seems like we needed a character to fill this role, so let's give a generic character so we don't have to have design. Like, I would be severely surprised if this character shows up again, and if they do, it's going to be for a single episode of, like, Kikaru trying to connect with her dad again.
Yeah, it'll probably be attached to all of that baggage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we get, like, the flashback of Kikaru's...
Or the other option is possibly that she gets used as, like, an emotional shit for Kikaru, like, oh, she's been put in peril by this kaiju. Mm-hmm. I need your help kind of situation.
Yep. Let's be real. The only one she's really going to give a shit about is Sabasu, the butler.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, that's because that's her real dad.
You mean her father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That man right there.
That's your Alfred. That's your real
That's
dad.
fucking Alfred. Exactly right.
Yep.
Because you can see him just cringe at her actual father's behavior.
Oh yeah, no, he hates that dude. You can tell that he fucking hates his boss. He is only there because he needs money and because he realizes this kid needs a dad.
Watch he be an actual kaiju.
Dude, oh man. I mean,
kaiju number
he's
9.
Kaiju to 1.
Number 1 is just this old fucker. But no, so we get the flashback of Kikaru. Well, does this happen No. So first she attacks the kaiju, and she's constantly been talking about how she needs to be perfect. She kills the kaiju. Oh, I am perfect.
What a loaded word.
Yep. And then things start to go wrong.
Yeah.
We get the freaking and this is like literally again the design is so Doom 2016. This is so the minion design from Doom 2016 with the flat face. It's kind of like some mixture between some Guillermo del Toro and Doom 2016.
Yep, yep.
But it talks. It thinks.
Yes, and that's what I love. Like, because if you
And
have
it
one
can
kaiju,
shoot.
if you have one
It
kaiju that can think, you're gonna have more that can think.
Oh yeah, no. Now you've just introduced a race.
Yep.
Like now this is a sentient race of beings. It also has Frieza Rayfinger.
Oh, it was so good
Let's
too.
not forget to mention that he shows up as a human first.
No.
Uh, technically, yes, because I think
No.
he was in. I think he was in the last ep. I think he. We're not.
He's the new like he's taking the place of the new guy in a cleaning crew we haven't met.
No, because those guys. I think those guys were some of the people Kafka worked with.
Yes.
Yeah, like I think he was on that cleaning crew. I mean, maybe he took over one of their lives after that, but like this is like we've seen these characters. We're getting like way towards the end of the episode, but um no. So yeah, we might have seen him prior to this. No way of knowing for sure.
I mean, we can go back and like
No, too
character
late.
character design comparison is about the only way I can do it.
Yeah, but anyway, so we get this kaiju who can talk, and Kikaru is immediately freaked out by this because first of all he shoots
Honey.
her, and then she sees like he's like rubbing the kaiju and it's healing itself, and it's talking to it.
He worm kittied the kaiju.
Yep, like he's
Warm
like
kitty,
this.
soft kitty.
Oh god, yeah. No, it's so intimidating because he's so like it seems like he genuinely loves this kaiju and he's trying to like help it, and that's
Oh, I got
weirdly
a
intimidating.
different read from it.
Well,
It felt very sociopathic.
oh
Like
no,
I
100%.
don't care. This is a weapon.
Well, see, that's kind of the thing. Like, not like healthy love. I'm not saying it's like a healthy like, oh, you're my pet and I'm gonna take care of you. It's like, oh no, I love you because you're gonna destroy everything for me, and I love the idea of you ruining all these people's lives, and that's why you're special to me because you're gonna cause so much chaos and destruction.
Yeah, that's why I love your cats.
Yeah, no, like it's a twisted, perverted love of
He's so
no,
hurt right
you are
now.
a monster, and
I'm
I
talking
need
to
a
you.
monster to destroy things, and that's why I love you because you are going to do what I need you to do.
Yeah, it was very much like Palpatine giving you any sort of care.
Yep.
He
And
doesn't feel it in his soul. You are a tool. You are a means to an end. But if I can manipulate you into doing it, so
yeah, and I love. Well, first of all, the design for this intelligent kaiju is great, but like I love that it not only is it like dangerous on its own, clearly, but when it's healing this kaiju, the kaiju's what is it? It's power level. I don't know exactly what the power level was called. Was it like
magnitude,
yeah? But
something like magnitude or fortitude or something like that.
yeah,
I think it
something.
was fortitude.
Yeah, its fortitude level starts going up, and it, not only that, but they talk about like so it had like these stumps for where horns are supposed to be, and the horns start to regrow too, and you find
Very
out that
Hellboy.
yeah, and you find out that those horns are what allow it to use energy attacks. And
Yeah,
they had
so, like, you realize, like, it hadn't been stated before, but you realize in this moment, like, oh shit, these kaiju have been nerfed.
Yep, that they had, and they even talk about like they had cut off the horns because those would have made it too
Like,
dangerous for them to
channeled
be
its,
testing.
yeah, like, channeled its abilities, right?
Yep. So without it, it can't use energy attacks. It had just brute force physical itself. But now, hey, I can, like, it gets the horns regrown. It can start using energy attacks, and it powers up to use an energy attack again. And Kikaru, who at this point, um, the suit healed her stomach wound because she had been shot in the stomach.
No, she got hit. She got hit right next
like,
to the heart.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it was like an inch away.
Yeah, it heals the heart, like the chest wound, but then the intelligent
Did you get
kaiju
that
shoots her.
impression? I actually didn't get that impression. I got the impression that the suit closed.
Okay, yeah, because she does get healed in
She
some sort of
sustained
weird
damage.
Yeah, it closes up to like prevent further exposure in that spot.
Like it's like compression on the wound too. Like I'm sure it had like a lot of really cool like survival features to it.
Yeah.
But like I don't think it was kind of like taking a stem pack.
No, but then she gets shot in all of her limbs too. So she's just like
she just got wrecked.
Yeah, she's just kneeling there, staring at this thing that's powering up to kill her.
You also forgot one thing too. Before she got shot in all her limbs, she tries to bring her weapon back up to fire again, and the motherfucker slap chops her into the next building and just dislocates and destroys her right arm. Then she gets shot.
Yep. And
she's having a bad day.
Yeah, as it's powering up to attack her, I think that's when we get the flashback to like her childhood, where she's like she tests into like the best school, she has the highest scores in her class, and her dad, like as they're talking with as she's talking with her friend's dad comes and like tells her how proud he is of her, and her dad's nowhere to be seen. And when she goes home, tells her dad about this because she's proud of herself and she wants him to be proud too. He's like, well, yeah, you better have gotten the best score. You have to
do better.
Like, if you hadn't have, that would have been a problem. You being the top of your class is the bare minimum that you are
this
allowed
is the lowest level of achievement.
If you would have gotten second, straight to the orphanage.
Yep. If you are not the best, something is wrong and we need to fix it right away. You have to be the best, and not only are you the best of the people around you, you have to be the best of anyone else you are ever going to meet, ever will meet, ever have met, or ever have not met and will not meet. You have
and
to
you better do so, because if you don't, you're gonna fail me, your country, and your dead mom.
Yep. Oh God.
Not my dead mom.
no dead mom baggage here.
Yep. And of course, Butler, dude, easily the best person in her life.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Shimaru.
But then
Alfred always wins.
Shibasu.
Yep. Then we get back in the present, the attack's coming for her, and fucking Kafka just swoops in.
Hey.
And he tells her, like, you did a really good job. Like, this is really impressive. I'm proud of how far you went.
And then just does this coolest fucking transformation right in front of her.
Yep, turns into the kaiju, the blast comes at him, and he just slaps it away.
Well, let's be fair. How that actually goes down is he saves her, does the cool line, does the cool transformation, realizes what he's done, goes back over to her, freaks the fuck out. Please don't tell anybody. I'm so sorry. And then in the middle of his idiot apology, he slaps the energy away.
Yep.
But I mean, it was a pretty cool slap.
Yep.
He went from awesome to idiot to awesome to idiot like 3 or 4 times.
That's just because that's who he is.
And that's why we appreciate Sims.
Yep.
All
I need now is a kaiju suit, and I'll be Kafka.
Yep.
See, this is one thing. Like, he has the suit. Okay, he does the full transformation. How the hell did he not get like 1,000% potential?
Well,
Unleashed.
because the kaiju transformation was over the suit, not under the suit. That's how I read it.
Still,
well, and they
using
do
his
get a
body.
reading on him. They get a reading on him. It's just it's not the suit potential reading.
Yeah, they don't get that reading. They get a fortitude reading on him
Yeah, because he's
from a
not.
different sensor array.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah,
not
okay.
utilizing the suit at all at that point. He's just a kaiju.
Let's be fair, he wasn't using this suit to begin with.
Oh,
And then he does his
weren't
one
monitoring him.
stance.
so before we get into that, I want to bring up the fortitude score for the kaiju. When it gets healed and its horns are repaired, they say that it's a 6.4 on the fortitude scale, which means that like a full force should be sent out to bring this thing down. That it is dangerous enough that like a squad should be sent out to take this thing.
The co-captain says that there's only 2 people that could take it out quick enough by themselves, and it's him and Mina.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, it's not full like global level threat yet, but it's like this should be taken seriously level threat.
Yeah, like this,
and no one has seen this intelligent kaiju except for Kikaru.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Not even Kafka saw it.
Yeah. Kikaru is the only person who's run into this kaiju.
They don't even get it on the sensors of the drones or anything.
Yeah, which that's actually really interesting to me, and I'm kind of curious where they're going to go with that, because this kaiju obviously gets picked up on the sensors. Kafka gets picked up on the sensors, which we'll talk about. But this other kaiju doesn't get picked up at all, despite the fact that it is clearly incredibly dangerous.
It's suppressing its power.
I mean, it's suppressing its power level. Yeah, it's they've learned how to suppress their power levels so that they can defeat the scanners.
Yep.
This is Dragon Ball Z season 1.
Oh yeah, but it does mean I'm curious to see where it's gonna rank.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so we.
I bet it's gonna have like a transformation too.
Oh, well, I mean, considering what it does, yeah, it's gonna have a transformation.
We technically see a transformation at the end of the episode.
We do.
Yeah, but I meant more like a power level transformation, not a disguise.
So anyway, Kafka, the sensors pick up. They bring up as they're going in that a second fortitude level has been picked up, and something must be wrong with the sensors because it's registering a 9.8, which means this is one of the most powerful kaiju in recorded human history.
I just love to like, as all of this is happening, there's that interplay between the co-captain and the sensors or the command station captain, and she's just take the job seriously.
Yep.
No.
I just love like her character is very Velma to me, and I love it.
Yep. But yeah, so then we get like the square off between Kafka and the kaiju, and Kafka.
One Punch Man happens.
Yep. Yeah. Again, he does that thing he did in episode 2 where he punches it and it explodes and blood starts raining.
I was gonna say
he mystified the shit out of it,
bro. I literally wrote down in my notes, this is gonna be a theme of raining blood. I'm just gonna put Slayer's raining blood on a sound bite here, because we're gonna have to add this in at some point. Yeah, it's very, very much the theme. Though I will say that it just I had to stop the episode here to laugh my head off, because I loved the moment where they went all Pacific Rim. Rocket Elbow!
Oh yeah. Like he fucking shoots shit down into the ground from his legs. His arm opens up so it can do a rocket punch.
And it literally has a jet behind it, Rocket Elbow style. I'm just like, this is the greatest thing ever.
And then the skin disappears, the muscle disappears, the bone, and then boom, miss.
As it's vaporized.
Yeah, that was that was a super cool effect too. It's like, I thought for a second like we were gonna have, it was basically this show's version of a beam struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was so good.
It's lost.
Yeah.
And then he opens up his fucking mouth.
Yep.
Dare you to do it again. Oh god, no! Oh god, no!
Yeah, it starts regenerating. He's like, oh god, no, I didn't mean it. And then it
Don't
falls
scare
down.
me like that.
Yep. He turns, looks at Kikuru, and like
I'm gonna do
fucking punches a kaiju behind her that explodes too.
I think he also does like the bitch slap of
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, that was so good.
Oh.
and then we get Ichikawa comes up
And
and
beats the shit out.
well after we get the reveal of like like it's literally a Venom moment where he like just reveals his face and he's still got the bodysuit on, and he gives the whole like winky face thing. I forget what he says, but it's like, oh, I'm glad you're okay or some shit like that. And
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like,
What
she's
is
got to
wrong
be
with
18,
you?
right? Like, are we
She is-
shipping this right now?
Nope,
I don't think
16.
she's 16. We can't be shit. Well,
We can't do it.
no, Japan can do that. Japan's got some different
We're in
laws.
America, sir.
No, we're not shipping it, but Japan's probably shipping it. Japan, it's got some questionable consent laws.
So we just wait till season 2 and there's a 2-year time skip. It's fine.
No, because then that's considered grooming because he knew her when she was 16.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
No, there's no situation where it would be okay for these two to get together.
You cannot make this okay.
Yeah.
No.
Stop it.
That being said, if she wants to get with Ichikawa, I think Ichikawa's like age appropriate. Well, he's not like, I think he's like a couple years older than her, but that's okay.
Grooming.
I mean, Ichikawa, I think, is like 18 or 19. That's not too bad. That's like a dude who was dating a sophomore when he was a senior. That's not the worst thing in the world that's happened.
All I'm
Currently
hearing is
18.
all I'm hearing is the age-old argument of like, no, she's 1,000-year-old being in the body of a 14-year-old. It's still weird.
Again, I'm not saying Kafka should get with her. That's fucking awful. But like, again, Ichikawa is also a teenager. That's like the one age-appropriate person for her.
Yeah. It's like she's sticking around. Let's just not ruin this, please.
Yep, yep. Plus, it's obvious Kafka should be with Mina.
It is obvious.
Oh yeah.
Though
Well, I mean,
she's very much playing the classic standoffish, emotionless, super in control, on top of the world female.
Yep. Who at the same point.
Which great. I love the power fantasy, but it's sometimes like,
well, she's also
that's
constantly
a
plagued.
trope.
She's also constantly plagued by memories of their youth together. So like clearly she's not over him.
Yeah, but of course, like I think she has like a different impression. Like she's also marinated on these thoughts for long enough that she probably has an impression of Kafka that he probably has of himself.
Mm-hmm.
That they're both probably wrong about.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if anyone's gonna end up with Mina, it's gonna be Vice Captain.
Oh, we are in a fight.
So,
No.
Vice Captain's best captain.
So,
Vice Captain is going to end up with one of the scion-haired character or some shit.
No, so
we're
gonna move on. We're moving on. We're not shipping. We're done shipping in this episode. We're ending the shipping right now. So,
Bonus episode shipping.
We started with the shipping.
So we get the scene of like they manage to like get out of this this training city. They go to get medical aid because despite the fact that Kafka like Kaiju transformed, his human body is still fucked up. Which I actually
I thought that was really interesting too. I really like that too. It's like he doesn't instantly heal like say Venom does. Like Venom heals his host back to normal.
Yep.
Whereas apparently the Kaiju transformation for Kafka doesn't.
Yeah. Like
he might also not know how to yet.
Yeah. Right now it almost seems like it's two distinct bodies instead of like him turning into the Kaiju. It's almost like he's like it's almost like either an exoskeleton or a swap where like
it felt like a suit, like an exoskeleton to me.
Yeah, like it's a different thing than him. So he can still be injured, but the Kaiju itself the kaiju body will be perfectly fine even if he's injured.
I'm wondering if we're gonna get some things more like Venom, where like there's a voice in his head, because the thing that infected him, if for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
definitely had a sentience level of communication, telepathy, a goal. Like they're classic sentience.
Well, not only that, but now that we've gotten another kaiju that's intelligent, like, and one that seemingly has a goal and is doing something with other kaiju, like, there's got to be a connection between the kaiju that turned Kafka and this other kaiju that's intelligent and was healing the kaiju in there.
Oh, do you think the other intelligent kaiju was a human first? No, the way he refers to humans makes me think that humans are a new experience for him.
And not only that, but like the way the end, when we'll get to the end transformation, it's so radically different than Kafka's. I think it's
Disturbing. It's like he kind of like it's almost like lycanthropy from a lot of mythology. It's like you shed the previous form that you were in.
I'm just calling it some Illuminati shit.
Yeah. But no, so
all those pyramids with eyes on it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but with kaiju though.
So we end up going to the hospital. Kafka is treated in the normal hospital. Kikaru is treated at a super advanced facility because she's important and he's not.
Know your place.
Yep.
I thought it was. I think the best part of this whole thing was freaking Kafka being like, "I'm in the hospital again."
I wish I was in the good hospital.
Yeah. And
he's not even mad about the good hospital at that point. He's just like, "How did I get here again?"
Yeah. So then,
also before we move on, like just a bit on the train of thought I was on earlier. Do you think there's going to be a point where his powers get taken away from him?
Probably at some point. I don't think this season, but like, there's going to be some situation where he's powerless because that always happens.
Yeah, it's pretty common trope, but it's like I wonder what the symbiotic bond between him and that other kaiju is. I'm very curious.
He's either gonna lose it or he's gonna be forced not to use it.
Yeah. So when Kikaru is in the hospital, the vice captain meets up with her, and he's talking about like, oh, like everyone managed to survive because you killed that giant kaiju, and like there's this beat, and he's like, you were the one that did that, right? Like that was you, right? And
she actually kind of accuses her of not being the one who killed her. So he goes, so that's not how it went down.
Yeah, like it's very clear he's gotten the impression that something happened that they're not fully aware of, and like
right, because he even says on the battlefield when they're examining the dust that had settled
that he's seen it before.
That not only that he'd seen it before, but he actually specifically says that Kikaru is powerful, but there's no way that she'd be able to do this.
Yeah.
Like so, he already has it in his mind before he goes and talks to Kikaru that I don't think you did this.
Yeah.
And I've seen this before. So like, there's a pattern here. You aren't the first part of this pattern. I don't think you fit into this.
Yeah, but there's also he can't 100% explain what did happen unless unless he specifically accepts that reading that they got from Kafka is accurate, and that Kafka, or they don't know it's Kafka, but that an insanely powerful kaiju showed up, killed the kaiju that was rampaging, and then just left.
Honestly, it kind of feels like they don't know that Kafka was even in the area because they, according to the drone footage when it came back in, they see Ichikawa transporting Kikaru back to base or back to the evac point. So like Kafka's just like some dude.
Yeah. Although
I'm here.
Yeah.
I get they don't know it's Kafka, but like, remember the last on episode 2, like I think that's what they're talking about specifically is what happened in episode 2 where he annihilated that kaiju with the uppercut. I think that's the pattern like that they've seen before is
Yeah, I got
specifically
that.
like
I got that same impression.
yeah, and
Caught him
that's
with an
where he's kind of
uppercut.
bringing it up is like, so we know about this kaiju that like killed another kaiju. And he didn't obviously. He's not going to bring it up to Kikaru. Like he doesn't want to tip his hand of that. They know that there's this. They know like Kafka's
Wasn't
kaiju form was in the
Oh.
news, but they don't want to tip too much what like the things they've learned about it, like that it is also an intelligent kaiju because like
Do they know that it's an intelligent kaiju?
Well, I mean, he helped the girl.
yeah, and like the girl,
Mm.
he spoke to the girl. The girl hype like
Mina did.
yeah, but like he was there with her, and like I would assume that she probably if there's anyone she would have divulged that information to on her team, it would have been him.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
so he's hypothetically aware there's an intelligent kaiju out there that can do this. So he doesn't want to tip his hand and say like, "Hey, did this specific kaiju show up to do this?" And she doesn't want to tip her hand because she doesn't want to let them know, "Hey, Kafka turned into this kaiju."
Yeah, like that. She had every opportunity to screw him over, but I feel like she actually has some camaraderie with him,
Yeah.
at least begrudgingly for saving her life.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Just
then
more ammunition to hold over him.
Mm-hmm. So then we get
Oh, she's got black material for days.
So then we get the kaiju that showed up, the intelligent kaiju, and it's hiding out in a bathroom stall.
This was the weirdest, coolest part of the episode,
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
I like the way it's holding the phone. Like he doesn't really quite understand how it's supposed to do that. So it's like,
yeah, I don't like it.
He's like, is this how people do this? Like, I've never really used one of these before, which kind of leads me to believe that even if that character, so he's holding the phone, he gets a phone call, it answers the phone, and it's using like this other voice to talk to the person on the phone, and they're asking,
Doesn't
like,
he have
hey,
doesn't he have to transform his head before it changes?
Yeah, it transforms its head in order to speak using that other voice because it hypothetically needs to transform its vocal cords to sound different.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So it transforms its head so it can speak to the person on the other side of the phone, and they're asking like how long you're going to take, and then it transforms the rest of its body and comes out of the bathroom, and it's revealed to be one of the members of the cleanup crew. They're like Kafka's cleanup crew, and you see like some of the guys that he had been talking to in episode 2, like the guys that they were like really proud that he had managed to potentially like get one last chance to be on the Kaiju Defense Force.
God, I wonder if that character was in the first episode.
See, here's my thing. If that character was, I don't think he was the Kaiju at that point.
So, like, that was the thing is, like, did the Kaiju take over someone who was already established, which would have been, like, a classic, easier route? Or is this, like, oh, yeah, I'm the new guy, can I get a job? Like...
Yeah, it's one of the two. Either that character wasn't in the previous 2 episodes and he's brand new, or he just took over somebody else's life. But we also get, like, the way he transforms is way different than Kafka. Like,
yeah,
for Kafka,
this is grotesque.
Yep. For Kafka, he turns into the Kaiju and it's like an exoskeleton appearing over him. For this thing, it's like some sort of like Lovecraftian monster reshaping its body to become
like his molecules are changing.
Yep. And we get that moment where like he's at the back of the group, they're walking away, and its neck starts transforming without it meaning to, and it has to push its head back down.
I thought that was a really interesting tell. Like, it's not a perfect transformation. There's risks.
Yeah, which is kind of the same as Kafka, which is where another
Yeah.
parallel is here. That Kafka has trouble keeping, like, not turning into a kaiju. Well, this this kaiju also has problems with its shape shifting too.
But completely different methods, which was really fun.
Yeah.
And grotesque.
Yeah. So, that's where we ended. And then obviously the fucking One Republic song. So some notes that I wanted to bring up that I didn't bring up last time that I feel like I should talk about. I mentioned this to Josh the other day. So interesting fact about this show is actually made by Toho, the people who make Godzilla.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a Toho production, which I just thought was kind of an interesting thing.
If anyone was going to do kaiju.
Oh yeah. Other than that, let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to bring up, or anything you guys wanted to bring up before we end this episode?
I'm just looking forward to it ramping up further. I'm liking where it's going.
Same.
Fire.
All right. Well,
like I'm looking into getting the manga now.
Yeah, you're gonna ruin everything.
Of course, that's what I do in my life. I ruin it.
All right. So with that, we are going to end this episode. Join us next time when we do Kaiju number 8, episodes 5 and 6, which will put us to the halfway point of the season. With that, see you guys on the next episode.
Adios.